Okay, as promised, a couple of days later, and here I am back at the junction. I hit Pickens thanks to Chesley and his parents. I was able to get a ride from Pickens into Milton, and when it turned into a tornado warning and some major rain last night, I was able to get a hotel rather than come right back out here. So now it's the next morning, the weather's passed for the moment, and it's time to head up to Alabama. This is going to be kind of the last hurrah of gut hooks for a couple hundred miles, this next 46 miles or so. If you're curious what I'm using to nav this, if you download the Gut Hooks app and you look at the Florida Trail, there's actually a free demo that is this Blackwater section, so you can actually check it out without having to pay for anything. And I have to say, as rough as it has been at times along the Florida Trail, I'm going to miss these orange blazes here. There's been a lot of really awesome sections that just kind of blew me away. And a lot of rough road walks in between, but you know, that's just part of the adventure. So the best part of the hotel night last night, other than, you know, not getting stuck out in pouring rain, hail, and potential tornadoes, was I no longer have sand in every nook and cranny of both myself and my gear. That was a really needed shower and laundry last night. Just ran into another FTA trail crew back there. They always wear neon blaze orange. So I first saw them and I'm like, oh, trail crew, cool. And then for a second I thought they might be search and rescue, but no, they're a trail crew. I just always like saying thank you because you can really see the amount of work that's gone into keeping this trail as clear as it is through a lot of the sections that have been damaged by hurricanes or covered with water and everything else. There's a lot of elbow grease that's gone into keeping the Florida Trail functional. My Sawyer's been a little blocked up lately, so might as well take advantage of this convenience store in Herald and get something to drink, huh? Okay, after about 11 and a half miles of basically non-stop burn scar, I'm getting close to the river here. Gotten a little nicer. This got really nice once I got down by the river. You can see it right over there. It's kind of muddy. So shelters are not that common down on the Florida Trail and on this trail, so decided I might as well go take a look. Basic, but decent enough. So I'm about 15 miles in. I'm tired. Once again, I was in a hotel and I stayed up far too late trying to get things done while I had power and internet reception. And then once the storm hit, that kept waking me up even inside the hotel room. So it was a fun night. So I'm just dragging, you know, usual thing after a late night. But I figure I can get another 5 miles or so, make it a 20-mile day. Okay, it's about 6:30. Despite my late start this morning, I've done a little over 20 miles. So at this point, I'm just booking it for the next water source, fill up for the night, and then try and find a place to set up. Okay, 23 miles. So I'm not going to use the shelter, but I could use the flat ground. Okay, if you're curious what the camp from last night looks like in the daylight, here you go. I didn't really see the point of staying in the shelter. Again, I just like my tent, so I've been set up right there. You can hear the helicopters. There's been a lot of air traffic over here. Other than that, so far this trail has had some pretty bits. I'm 23 miles from the Blackwater Florida Trail junction, but a lot of it has been a burn area, which is kind of a bummer. We'll see what today has. I have about 22 miles until the Alabama border, thereabouts. So I'm planning to make this my last day of Florida if everything works out. Well, that's kind of a cool looking guy. Ha! Thought my feet were gonna have to get wet here. I've actually been dry so far. Probably shouldn't say that because you know that just means I'm gonna be wading up to my neck here in about 5 minutes. So as you can see, there's some of the bridges are a little bit in rough shape here, but this isn't bad at all. I mean, especially after that big rainstorm that hit the night after I finished at Pickens, I was really expecting more flooding and, you know, to be wet. Keeps getting a little muddier here. Have I mentioned how appreciative of boardwalks this trail has made me? Okay, another shelter. Might as well stop and have a quick lunch while there's a table. It's even got a house number on it. Brr, it is chilly today. Can't stop for long because I start shivering. So I'm actually not the only person out here. Just ran into another 3 guys walking up the road back there. Okay, this is Hurricane Lake. It's going to be my last stop before getting to the Alabama border. It's pretty cold, so I just want to keep moving, but it's worth it to stop and try and get some water so I don't have to filter and maybe use their bathrooms. So those helicopters you can hear in the background have been going all day. I'm not sure what's going on. Didn't look like military the few times I've seen them. So the trail's gotten a little more sparse these last couple of miles before the border. Problem is, they're marking all the trees with blue paint, so it's hard to pick out the actual blazes. You can see there's one up ahead, and obviously they've been doing some work here, you know, pulling things down. And I do believe that is it for Florida up there. And looks like that's it. From here on out, it's Alabama. That was quite the adventure in Florida. So it's a little after 6 o'clock. The first marked camp on the Alabama section, you know, with the limited data I have, is 6 miles ahead. So I think I'm just gonna set up here for the night and then get started bright and early in the morning. Okay, I didn't want to camp right at the kiosk back there because it's kind of close to roads and I can hear vehicles running around. So this is going to have to be it for tonight. I'm not too far from the border, and then I'll go on into Alabama tomorrow.